Welcome to Big Dog Talk Sports, and this is your boy Big Dog with episode 2 of Legendary Squads. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the 1998 New York Yankees. Alright, y'all, so let's get into it, man. We're talking about the historically great New York Yankees, man. They dominated their division, the American League East. So dominant. Let's put it like this: the Red Sox, that season, they finished 92 wins, 70 losses. Pretty good record. The Yankees, they won the division by 22 games. Let that sink in. 22 games. They finished their season 114 wins, 48 losses. The Yankees from top to bottom was just a dangerous roster, especially to be a pitcher and you pitching against this team. As far as home run hitters, they didn't have any, Jose Canseco's or, they didn't have no Rafael Palmeiros or Ken Griffey Jr., who led the league in home runs that season. But it was pretty solid, top to bottom, man. Let's talk about this roster. Of course, you had captain, legend, Derek Jeter, one of the faces of Yankees baseball. He batted .324 that year, gave you 19 home runs, 84 RBIs. Bernie Williams, he won the American League batting championship. He was the American League batting champion that year. He batted .339, which is like pretty good, man. Also gave 26 home runs, 97 RBIs. You had Darryl Strawberry, a designated hitter. He helped with 24 home runs. Paul O'Neill, right fielder, he batted well over 300 as well. He batted .317 that year. 116 RBIs, 24 home runs. Scott Brocious, who I'm going to mention again a little later on, he batted .300 even. Contributed 19 home runs. Second baseman Chuck Knobloch, he batted .265. He chipped in another 17 home runs. Tino Martinez, he batted .281. He gave 123 RBIs, 28 home runs. Then you had catcher Jorge Posada. He batted .268 and gave you 17 home runs. Like I said, you didn't have no Ken Griffey's or no Rafael Palmeiros or no, Jose Canseco's on this team or anything like that, but top to bottom, man, it was just dangerous hitters, top to bottom on that roster, man. It was a dangerous lineup to pitch against, man. And we can talk about the notable players as well. A couple notable players I want to mention. You had Joe Girardi. He was a backup catcher. Joe Girardi, he became an All-Star 2 years later. He made the All-Star team in the year 2000, and he also became a manager in Major League Baseball. While being a manager of the Florida Marlins, he won National League Manager of the Year in 2006. He also became a Yankees manager for 2008, 2017, and he just got fired, but he was the Phillies manager as well. He just got fired, but he was their manager recently. Another notable player I want to mention is Tim Raines. Now, Tim Raines, he debuted in 1979 for the Montreal Expos, so, of course, 19 years later, he's clearly out his prime, but he's a notable player, man. He was a great player while he was in his prime. 7-time All-Star. In the year 1986, he was the National League batting champion. He had the Slugger Award. And 4 years in a row, he was the stolen base leader from 81 to 84. So in his prime, man, he was one of the best players out here. But he was clearly out of his prime during this run with the Yankees. Let's talk about the Yankees pitchers, man. We had Orlando Hernandez. He had 12-4 record. He had David Wells. He finished 18-4. David Cone, 20-7 record. Andy Pettit, he had 16 wins. He had 11 losses. He had the most losses out of all the pitchers. Still had a winning record, nonetheless. Hideki Arabu, he had 13-9. You know, so they had a solid pitching staff. They didn't have a Nolan Ryan or anything like that. They didn't have a Roger Clemens, but like it was pretty solid pitching staff, man. They got the job done. Relief pitching, you had Grammy Lloyd, relief pitcher, 1.67 ERA, 20 strikeouts. You had Mariano Rivera. I mean, if you know baseball, you know who Mariano Rivera is, man. Greatest closing pitcher in the history of baseball in most people's eyes. He was on that team. He had an ERA of 1.91, 36 strikeouts, 36 saves. I mean, Mariano was just being Mariano, man. The Bronx Bombers, man. This Yankees team is not only one of the best teams in Yankees history, one of the best teams in Major League Baseball history. Let's talk a little bit about the playoffs that year, man. As you can see, they dominated the regular season, 114 wins, 48 losses. When they got to the American League Championship Series, man, they faced the Cleveland Indians. Hey, the first 3 games, it kind of got dark for the Yankees. This Cleveland Indians team was a stacked team, man. They was a stacked team. Let me tell you how stacked they were. Now, as great as the Yankees was overall as a team, as great as they were as a team with the record and, wins, losses, they had 4 All-Stars. Those All-Stars being Scott Brosius, Derek Jeter, of course, Paul O'Neill, David Wells. But the Cleveland Indians, these guys had 6 All-Stars. You had Kenny Lofton, Omar Vizquel, Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, Bartolo Colon, Sandy Alomar Jr. So it's not like this Cleveland team, they didn't have the talent to go toe-to-toe with the Yankees as far as a 7-game series goes. They had the talent. They took a 2-1 lead on the Yankees. It started getting dark a little bit, but the Yankees got it together and they won 3 straight, man. And they won the ALCS championship, man. The Yankees they closed it out in 6. Then when they got to the World Series was pretty much easy for them. They pretty much put the whipping sticks on the San Diego Padres. They swept them. Wasn't really a fight, man. The Yankees were too much for them. It's almost as if the World Series was the ALCS versus the Indians. Scott Brosius, he was the World Series MVP. Joe Torre, he was the Associated Press Manager of the Year. Derek Jeter, he led the American League in runs scored for this season. So, you can see how dominant this Yankees team was. They didn't have, like I said, they didn't have the best pitcher in the MLB. They didn't have, a pitcher, you look at it like Nolan Ryan or Roger Clemens in his prime or prime Randy Johnson or anything like that. But as a collective, man, they got the job done. It was hard to beat. But it came to home runs. Like I said, Ken Griffey Jr. was the league leader in home runs. They didn't have no Ken Griffey. They didn't have no Rafael Palmeiro. They didn't have like a prime Mark McGwire or anything like that. But as a collective, man, they were dangerous, man. You pitch to them, they might hit a home run, or they might just get on base, hit you with a single or double. Teammates getting ran in, teammate get on base, the other batter come and hit a double single, they scoring on you. It ain't all about the ball. The Yankees, they beat you. They can hit the home run here and there, but they run the batters in on you, man. So, dangerous line from top to bottom. Pitching staff was pretty good. I wouldn't say they was equivalent to the 95 Braves pitching staff, like with John Smoltz and Greg Maddux or anything like that, but they got the job done. That's it on the 1998 Yankees, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you enjoying the series so far. Big Dog out.